I want to talk about this movie.
All right,
I want to talk about Don't Look Up. Spoiler alert, everybody. I watched Don't Look Up. It is a film on Netflix. It's the most popular. It is hilarious. It is fairly leftist. But the way they make fun of the government, the way they make fun of the FBI, the way they make fun of the media, it's really good. It's really good. I obviously, there's like annoying leftist things in there. The way they depict Trump supporters as being really stupid. So dumb, they refuse to look at the sky, which is really dumb. That's the name of the movie, by the way. So again, spoiler alert. Now that I've sufficiently warned you about the spoilers, the point of the movie is that there's like conservatives who are too stupid to look at the sky to see that an asteroid is heading their way, or at least a certain part of the movie. And I'm like, okay, that's really stupid.
Yeah, but what if they're... Sorry. Maybe they're not wrong. But it's not.
There are people drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But the movie's actually really good. So
I feel a little bit that way. Sorry, but I do. Anyways,
however, I look at this film.
You never reminded me that I was wearing the hat as a nod, and then you let me keep it on for the whole.
There's a lot of beanie cohesion.
Yeah,
I know, but I was doing it as like a cute little nod, and then like you let me.
No, it's great. I loved it.
Okay, well, that's fine. Sorry, I've got to get back to myself for a second. But yes,
if you pay attention to the news and you watch this movie, Don't Look Up. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal, post-liberal, conservative. You're gonna watch this and be like, man, these Democrat individuals, these activists are extremely oblivious to what's going on. It is, in fact, right now, in many ways, the right who are saying, look at these problems and wake up, and the left who are too stupid to look up.
No, they're literally looking down. They're literally looking into their masks. They're looking into their masks. I mean, it's not even. That's what's so amazing. Oh God, it drives me nuts good. About Hollywood.
I absolutely enjoyed the movie. Did you see the movie?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, you have to see the movie.
I need a
but
minute.
The interpretations of Hillary Clinton.
I have a friend of mine is actually in the movie, so I've got to.
Okay, you have to see it. But again, the interpretations of Hillary Clinton, of an individual that talks like Bill Gates, of the FBI was right on point. This is why I really enjoyed the movie personally myself. Obviously, every movie has propaganda behind it. The people who made this movie.
Why do we have to accept that?
But the people who made this movie said that it was, about global warming. But if you leave it up to your interpretations, you could interpret it in many different ways. It could be interpreted as COVID. It could be interpreted as energy policy. I just left it as an asteroid because I think that is what the movie was about. And I love the kind of criticisms of our current society. And it was kind of like and it was kind of like Idiocracy, where it pointed a lot of our ignorance right at us, and it was great.
And the movie heavily criticizes the media for being flippant and self-interested.
I thought that was weird.
The show in question that they go on. So these two scientists are like, we're going to go on national television to announce a comet will destroy the Earth, and it's called the Daily Rip. And on the table, the glass that says Rip is reflected, and it says Lib. Like,
oh my!
The president is Hillary Clinton. It's very obviously Hillary Clinton. They do this on purpose. It zooms in and shows her hugging Bill Clinton. Like they did not need that scene. They're telling you it's Hillary Clinton.
Yes. That's amazing.
And then that voice of that big tech entrepreneur. I mean, that is exactly. He wore the sweater vest too, and was literally talking like Bill Gates. And he was making evil decisions that ruined and destroyed the world.
Remember how Hollywood works, though. They'll throw them out. They'll throw them out because they know they're already thrown out. It's okay. They'll make memes of them. They'll toss them out because were they going to run Hillary Clinton again? It's not going to happen. So we're in the AOC level. We're in a place where they can do that. I'm not saying that like exactly. I'm just sort of doing my weird projection on Hollywood. But they wouldn't have done that 3 years ago. They wouldn't have done that 5 years ago. I guarantee you they wouldn't have done it 5 years ago.
And then I would say Leonardo DiCaprio was kind of like a Dr. Fauci. And then he gets corrupted and starts banging the
TV shows.
The lady that's on the TV.
And shilling
who's
for the
totally
big tech
soulless.
Company.
Yeah,
shilling for big tech.
Yeah, the people on media are all taking Xanax. They're all popped up on pills. They're all alcoholics, which is true. I've been saying that on this show. I'm like, hey, I met and I partied with some of the White House press corps. All of them are alcoholics, drug abusers.
Whoa, dude. When I worked at Vice, and this is true for most newsrooms.
That's right. You worked at Vice.
There are bottles. There was a Jägermeister dispenser. There are bottles of booze. There's bottles of booze everywhere.
Yeah, but they just want to project having a good time.
No. They're alcoholics.
Journalists are alcoholics.
That's really
Yep.
bad. Hey,
In
can I
all
ask
these
you a question?
newsrooms, there is booze everywhere.
I never knew this. Sorry. Can I take a little tiny side road? Are you still friends with Gavin? I don't know.
I've never been friends with Gavin.
Oh.
Yeah, I've met him.
He's a very
one time.
good friend of mine. He's always been extremely kind to me. But,
I met him one
but don't
time
you
when he
remember
licked
when
the guy's
Vice
face,
was-
and that was it.
I was there when he licked that guy's face. I remember getting it on
amazing.
video, and I'm like, this is weird.
What is
Like,
happening?
this is not like, what the hell's going on
you guys,
here?
Like, not to like age myself or whatever, but like, Vice was like a really big deal when we were growing up. Like, it was a thing that had a chance to have actually been something really important. Anyway, I know
It
that's
was
not what we're
important
talking
for a
about.
time. Let's
Look,
admit it.
let's get off.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had to ask. I've never actually been able to ask you that before.
This is a really good point in the context of the film, to be completely honest. I think we've made our points about the movie, but the movie is meant to be this critique. It's meant to mock the media and talk about the view. I think it's obvious Leonardo DiCaprio is a big climate change activist, and this is how they kind of view it. But what's interesting, just to now segue kind of into like what happened to Vice, is that Vice was supposed to challenge a lot of the corruption that they're complaining about. And then Vice decided to just jump on in.
Exactly. You know what? That's what's so disappointing.
When you watch this
when you
film,
grow up, it's weird. It's weird growing up with that. Okay, because like I don't want to sound dumb, but like you can't help it. Where you're like, oh, even my thing was corrupt. You're like, oh, even the thing I thought was actually cool was corrupt. Like everybody's got to go through that, I guess. But I didn't realize that it would happen to all of us.
When you have the movie makes a lot of funny points about a media that's disinterested. Mm-hmm. It's really funny. There's a scene where they're like, what's the actress's name? Jennifer Lawrence. Mm. She's like, we're all gonna die, and then they're like, whoa, calm down.
That scene's great. That scene's great.
But it's inauthentic. That's what I mean. It's inauthentic, and they criticize it. You bring up Vice, which is interesting. We can definitely segue into that.
No, because
Vice
that's what it is.
Vice was authentic.
Yeah.
That Vice was originally criticized because it was a regular dude going to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And these journalists were like, you can't just put on a safari hat and point at poop. And they're like,
yes, you can.
You know what it is? It's your bar buddy saying, let me tell you a story and you trust us. Uh-huh. Now Vice is just corporate showmongering.
One of the things that was really interesting about that movie was how Leo was kind of captivated and manipulated by the corporate media, and how he was playing along after his sidekick was, of course, kicked off. He was making a lot of media appearances. He loved the image of himself. He saw his ego grow.
That's quite
and I'm
realistic.
like, that's literally freaking Dr. Fauci right there.
Yeah.
From my perspective, how I saw it. But again, Bill Gates blew up the world. Spoiler alert. That's awesome.
Hold on. The comet was already coming.
Yes.
The tech billionaire just wanted to make profit and sacrificed the planet.
He stopped them from blowing up the comet because they wanted to mine it for raw earth minerals, so his corporation could make more money.
I mean,
that could probably really happen.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Is that that's where we are.
Yeah.
Is that we could literally have something as easily identifiable as an existential threat than a comet coming at the entire world. And if we ask ourselves what would actually happen, it would be who could make the most money, who could gain the most out of the propaganda,
absolutely,
who could do all this, and that's actually where we live, and that's I gotta say that's not entirely wrong.
Yeah, and some people would argue that this is exactly what happened with this sickness that's been around for a while. That people are exploiting tragedy. But that's what government has been doing for a very long time.
They created that.
Whenever there's tragedy, they exploit it for their own personal benefit, and they have their corporations come in.
You guys got to realize. Remember, we haven't actually had a tragedy. We haven't had a non-man-made tragedy in a very long time. Okay. Like, that's the thing, is that like the asteroid has always been this. I remember in the 90s where there was like this string of asteroid movies that were very, very fun, right? Like,
yes, I remember those.
It was a deep
like,
impact.
And then not
Armageddon.
just that, but like remember there is, and this was something I was actually really weirdly fond of when I was a kid, like these sort of end of the earth movies that were extremely fun to watch. Like, even like I liked the dumbest ones. I liked like 2012 and like Independence Day. I think weren't all they made by the same director? I mean, it was Independence Day. They
all had the same plot.
2020, and there was the freezing one. There was the earthquake one. There was yes, of course, they all had the same plot, but there was something like okay. We also had hit the sort of higher. We'd hit at that time period the higher level of what's it called? graphic design, what am I trying to say?
CGI?
Yeah, CGI. CGI had sort of hit its mark right before, like, you really went nuts with it. But like where we're at now, where you've got like, Star Wars 10 or whatever. Like there was this period of time where people were actually awed by movies again, and there was this one period of like sort of disaster movies that and I even at that age, I really didn't like sort of big dumb movies. Like I did, but I didn't. But I was like very like, I was in my little art phase, like, right, like I was like hanging out at the art theater, and I was like but I'd always go to those movies. And there's something about it. There was something really pleasing about it. I don't think we're going to get back to that. I don't think even this movie is going to bring us back to that, because
the culture that's
the world we're in is not the same.
And there's two distinct worlds,
right?
And they don't want to come
and
together.
They don't want to
even.
They don't even want to be on the same spaceship. Here's the thing. The spaceship. I'm doing an imaginary movie right now. Like the spaceship that like, let's say saves the whole America. We don't even want to be on the same spaceship. We don't even want to be on the same spaceship.
The reality is that's the exception on the right and the rule on the left. The exception on the right is that people on the right consistently try to have debates and conversations, and the left just says no, haha, and laughs and says stupid things.
And I don't want to be on that spaceship. I'm sorry, I refuse.
But I will say too, look, the right has their negative element for sure. Mm-hmm. That's why I say it's the exception. The people who are, acting in bad faith and trolling, they exist on all sides, but the left, it's the rule. Like when you have very high profile progressive leftists who are unwilling to actually have conversations, they will say things publicly like, I'll come on your show, Tim. And I'm like, awesome. I really appreciate it. We'll fly you out first class. And then they go, haha, just kidding.
Wait,
or they go privately and say
first class, like from, if I just picked a different city.
Just a different city. No. So like, I'm just trying to kind of accentuate the point that we've had many high profile left-wing personalities smack talking. And I'm like, yo, you're always welcome.
No, they'll be terrible. They'll be terrible.
But they'll say yes publicly and then privately say, haha, I was never going to come on in the first place. And then
they think that's some kind of a win.
And then they'll get all of their, followers or whatever to start pushing the lie that we wouldn't let them come on because they've got to keep their people in the matrix. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.